You're listening to Sip and Grow the podcast, the show where we taste awesome, delicious wines while having unfiltered conversations about our passions, experiences, struggles, entrepreneurship, and life. My name is Nicole Pasquale, and I'm a wine enthusiast just trying to pursue her passions and dreams while taking you on the journey with me, one episode at a time. My ultimate goal is to not only bring you wine knowledge and value, but also inspire you to enjoy your process and journey in pursuing your passions and dreams. Because guess what? The person you become while enduring the process is more important. So sit back, grab a glass, and let's sip and grow together. Hi guys, welcome back to Sip and Grow with me, your host, Nicole Pasquale. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episodes so far. Today I'm excited because this is going to be the first white wine that we try. And this one is called Hallberg Blanc. So if you don't know, I am currently living on a vineyard in Sonoma, California. And this vineyard that I'm living on is actually called Hallberg Ranch. It's from a winery called Emeritus Vineyards, and they have two vineyards. They have Hallberg Ranch, which is 100 acres, and they have Pinot Hill, which is about 30 acres, and it's like 20 minutes from where I'm at. But currently, we are on Hallberg Ranch, and I decided to taste with you guys the Hallberg Blanc. So they just gave it the Hallberg name because it comes from Hallberg Ranch, which is currently what's behind me. And actually, so the vines behind me, they're called clones. So each vineyard has specific sections within the vineyard that has specific clones. So clones are basically like groups of type of like vine variety that has like a special quality to that specific clone. So within each vineyard, they have certain groups of clones within the vineyard that they mix depending on the wine that they're making. But this one specifically is made out of 9 of the 14 clones that they have on Hallberg Ranch. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what it tastes like. I really like this wine. I'm not huge now. I like white wines, but before, when I started to get into wines about 10 years ago, I wasn't huge on white wines, but I think that's because I was so used to like my family drinking only reds. Not that they don't drink white. I just think like we tend to like more red wine than white wine, or like a spumante, which is like a prosecco or a champagne. Which they actually do a champagne here on this one. Oh fuck. My roommate just got home with a date and I'm currently filming, so this is interesting. I'm currently talking in front of people. It's all good. So fuck. All right, let's go ahead and taste this wine. So if I look at the color, it's kind of like, it's very clear. And it smells like, I get hints of like lemon. Very like citric smells and kind of like almost grassy, a little bit of pear as well, and almost like, you know, like when you cut the grass and it's like wet grass. Yeah, I smell like freshly cut wet grass or like wet stone, which I know it sounds weird, but it's like, you know, when you clean stone outside of your house and it smells like wet stone, that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm smelling. Oh my god, that's really good. And I say this like I haven't tried this wine before. This is the second time I drink this wine, but I tend to go for Chardonnays or like oakier wines. But this is just because that's my preference, not because it's anything bad or good. Because remember, all of this is subjective to you and what you like to drink. But this is a very like, I would say it's not a light white wine, but it's not the heaviest white wine I've had. And I think it's very versatile. So it could go with a nice piece of like meaty fish, or like scallops with seared in butter. I would even say I would pair this with like a salmon or even a nice piece of lamb, to be honest. I think it's like very versatile and very easy to drink, which is dangerous. But actually, the other day, this is, by the way, this is the wine aroma wheel that I have in my link in bio. So if you haven't already grabbed it, go ahead and grab it. It just helps you when you're tasting wines to see what smells or flavors that you can get out of the wine when you smell it and when you taste it. It really helps you expand your like tasting notes. But I highly recommend grabbing it and using it to help you expand your wine knowledge. Anyways, I was actually thinking, like, for this episode, I was like, well, definitely I wanted to taste this wine with you guys. But recently, I don't know if you guys know Angus Cloud, he passed away. And he's actually, like, I'm a fan of Euphoria, the show on HBO. And it was like super shocking because he's 25, passed away super young. And it was totally unexpected. Like I remember being at work and randomly like my roommate, coworker, she's like, oh my God, Mac Miller's doppelganger passed away. And I think they still haven't clarified what happened to him, but it got me like really thinking. And later that week, we went out to have lunch with our coworkers, and I was actually speaking to one of my coworkers, and he's in his early 40s, and you know, all of us were just like getting to know each other, and then we ended up, one thing led to the other, and we ended up like talking about how like certain experiences and you know how a lot of people go through life kind of like mediocre, and then you know when this kid passed away, because he was a kid like 25, super young, I thought back to like when I was 25, and I was like, from then until now I have learned so much and grown so much, and I've experienced so much, and I still have so much to experience. I feel like a lot of people feel when they get to their 30s, you're supposed to have like your life set, you're supposed to have, you know, kids, marriage, house, all these things. And I feel like just talking with him was comforting, and also it was nice that I could help him in certain ways based off of like my experiences and the conversation I had with him. But what it really came down to was we were just saying like one of the things I firmly believe in life in general is that you know, everything happens for you and not against you. If there's one thing you can take out of this episode today, which it's like, let me take another sip because we're gonna speak some life deep facts right now. But if there's one thing that you can take away from this episode is like, if you start living your life by the everything is happening for me, not against me mentality, you're gonna see that everything drastically starts changing positively for you. And I just think like life is all about perspective and your mindset. And a lot of people, and it's also about understanding, right? Like you need to understand yourself to understand what you want. You need to have an understanding for others so that, you know, you don't judge them for certain things that they do or say, because at the end of the day, it's not about you. You know, everyone's just out. We're all the same. We're all here trying to figure out what we want, what our purpose is. And I think everything starts with you understanding yourself and you finding the things that you're passionate about, the things that bring you joy. And I think that's really hard for people because I think a lot of people, they go through the status quo, right? Like they just it's really sad, but a lot of people just live their entire life being miserable because they don't really know what they want, or they say like I should have, could have, would have, but never did because of X, Y, and Z. And like we're all guilty of it. You know, when you start blaming others for your misfortunes, you've already lost. Because we're all here to experience life. We're all here. It's part of the human experience. We signed up to be humans. And part of being human is like being, like feeling all the feelings, feeling all the emotions, because everything is about balance, right? So if you don't feel what it's like to be super sad or to experience grief or to be angry, like I feel like you can never experience how to fully love or how to fully be happy or blissful. And it's just like there's all these things, but I think to sum it up, because I can go down so many rabbit holes right now, but to sum it up, I think life is about enjoying it, experiencing it, the good and the bad, because the good and bad is what makes you who you are. And just like owning, you know, who you are, what you enjoy, and enjoying every moment, because every moment is not promised. And everyone has a, you know, a purpose to in their life. Like everyone has something they're here for, and you know, it's okay to not know what it is. I just think like as long as you're enjoying the things you're doing, as long as you're surrounded by the right people who have the right mentality and who love you for who you are, I think that one day it'll really come to you and you'll understand things. Because a lot of times when, especially when bad things happen, a lot of us don't understand why they happened. And I can say for me, from my experiences, it's like I don't understand them until, you know, a week later or a month later or 5 years later. But I can safely say that like everything that's happened to me, especially the bad things that have happened to me, are because they were happening for me and not against me. And to sum everything up, yes, I do think mental health is another topic or, you know, thing that we can dive into and affects a lot of other situations. But the reality is like you have more control over your pain and suffering that you think you do. And I just think it's about balance, getting the help that you need, because everyone's different. So like what works for me might not necessarily work for you, or what works for you might not necessarily work for someone else. Like, and it's all about figuring that out, being surrounded by a good support system and working on yourself daily to be the best version that you can be, which is something that I've always strived for in my life. And I know sometimes that's a little toxic as well, because you know, you could be working hard every day and working on yourself every day, but like it's also healthy for you to have a day of, you know, relaxing and a day to yourself, or doing just having fun, you know. But anyways, I hope you guys get to try this Hallberg Blanc. It's, to me, I think out of all the white wines I've had, it's probably on my top 5. And if you are huge on like a medium-bodied white wine, I would say go for this one. This is a 2022 vintage. Like I said, if you haven't already, download this wine wheel. It's in the link in my bio on my Stan store. And if there's anything that you guys want to hear on future episodes, or if there's anything that you want to hear from me, or any feedback that you have, I greatly appreciate any and all comments or questions. I want to get to know you guys a little more and be able to bring you, continue to bring you value on this podcast. And I hope you guys keep on listening and enjoying and sipping and growing with me. Cheers to the next one.